Hello everyone and welcome to an incredible episode, yet another stunning installment in the eras-long series and franchise that is VGC analysis and demonstration. Today with me I have my famous co-host, and my brain is feeling how to say chef. My famous, the sous chef is in the house. I think sous chef is the wrong type of chef, but it doesn't matter. Today we're going to make sure that you guys don't drag EasyBake beef. Say hello, Jace.
Right, don't drag EasyBake beef. I could be a sous chef. I'm cooking in the kitchen all the time, and hey.
I'm not saying that I'm not saying that you aren't a sous chef. I think that sous chef is just like a junior chef, right? Whereas you're like the full on, this is Julia Child. You're the Julia Child here, I'm really just here to leech off of your skills and ability, right?
No, are you kidding me? I am learning from you. You are the master. I am simply the weird skinny white dude to your Remy the Rat, okay?
Yeah, weird skinny white dude to my generic to Salamence profile picture. Okay, so today we're looking at Dragapult, Paldea and Tauros water form, and Rotom-Heat. And the reason that we went for these three Pokemon is because Paldea and Tauros water and Rotom-Heat are really good together. And we'd already used the other dragons, so Dragapult. Ta-da.
Yeah, I think they all also have something in common that we can get into, is that each of them has a niche of doing a lot of damage while also offering like a strong damage control move.
Yeah,
in the case of Rotom and Dragapult, they have Will-O-Wisp, and in the case of Tauros, it's Intimidate.
And Rotom also has Discharge, which is the best damage reduction mitigation move.
Because you paralyze your opponents and then they can't move at all.
No, you paralyze your own Pokemon and then your opponent reduces the damage they take.
Right. No, you're so right.
That's based on my personal experience, at least.
When have you ever hit yourself with a discharge?
Draft a lot.
You're playing that game where you just click discharge next to your fucking dragon type and then paralyze yourself. I
get KO. I think it was an Appleton. So 4x resist.
Okay, yeah, that actually makes sense.
It wasn't I had a ground type and I think a Volt Absorb. No, the Volt Absorb mon was the electric. So I clicked discharge and then they KO my ground type. So I kicked discharge next to Appleton and it full powered.
Oh no.
It's heartbreaking. Truly heartbreaking.
Yeah, well, you should just, get better.
That's what they invented Terra for, so that I can make it so that my Pokemon are all ground types.
Yeah. Or you run Covert Cloak Appleton. And then you're immune to Salt Cure and you win the 1v1 versus Garchomp as well.
That's true. I mean, if you don't win a 1v1 versus Garchomp with Appleton anyways, there's something very wrong with Garchomp. Even with Salt Cure.
I mean, Garchomp is that guy.
Garchomp is that guy, but Appleton is, also close to that guy, right?
Yeah.
Feels like it should be Garchomp in a 1v1 because Apple Acid is faster than Soul Cure.
Yeah.
But it's also Covert Cloak.
But this is not the Appleton Garchomp. This isn't.
The Garchomp video is in the playlist. That is probably I'm going to start putting in the description. But no, instead we're here with this individual. Oh yeah, and also don't drag EasyBake beef. That's the at a random cow of a cow that showed different pieces of meat because I had no idea what to put on the thumbnail. And also Julia Child, French stuff, cooking. What's it called? I can't remember. So on to the first Pokemon. We have Tauros-Paldea-Aqua, the water buffalo.
Hell yeah!
This mon is a monster. They really made 3 Tauroses, made 2 of them just the best Pokemon that are basically around, and then one of them just kind of mid, and it was barely changed from regular Tauros.
Why did they make the third one just a regular basic ass fighting type? Why didn't they make it a grass type? Then they all would have been good.
I mean, I think that the visual design, I think they're all amazing, and I don't know if they can necessarily have done the grass type in the way that they did the fire type, fighting type, water type, but it's I don't have a problem with the combat Tauros, right? But it is definitely not as cool as the water and fire one, and definitely also not as good.
It feels so lackluster, and it doesn't have the coverage of the other ones.
Sorry, I just saw your message. I have to scroll. Pin. There we go. Sorry. So yes.
Sorry.
Yeah, the fighting type one has the upside of not being weak to the weaknesses of grass and fire. It's the downside of not having the resistance of grass and fire, or more stab, and the fact that it has close combat. Sorry, it has brick break, but it's a fighting type move. So on the water Tauros, this Pokemon has Raging Bull, which is a signature move for the Tauros-Paldeas, which is their type. So that means the water, fire, or in the case of the fighting one, fighting type. 80 base power brick break, which is pretty good. This Pokemon also has access to close combat, which is, it's alright. You know, I've heard that it does damage. Earthquake, that's okay. But a big one is it has access to Wave Crash, the Flare Blitz that's water type, that I think was mentioned in the Palafin video probably at some point. It's
also got some other miscellaneous stuff.
Yeah,
it has
Aqua Jet.
It has Chilling Water, which has actually gotten some use in some tournaments. And it has reasonable coverage as well. I mentioned Earthquake, it's got rock moves, it's got Wild Charge as well if you want to hit Azumarill.
And
it's got body pressure,
bulk up
fully
as well.
physically. Yeah.
Bulk up is something that really can give it good options when you're running on like a screens variant of a team, or with maybe fast wisp user, because it really just goes from that Intimidate, being able to do stuff, to really being able to get through a team. And the other funny gimmick that it has, that I think it's all play at Tainan, but we didn't see it perform at San Diego, despite seeing a lot of Tauros-Paldea, is Anchor Point with Meowscarada, where you Terra into a grass or fire type and hit yourself a Flower Trick to get +6 attack. Because Raging Bull means that the screens can't deter you particularly effectively.
Yeah, I mean, the screens aren't doing too much even when you're at +6.
I mean, look, you might be surprised. But yeah, this Pokemon, it's got a lot of damage. That's the main selling point.
But it also has Intimidate, and it's, I think, pretty unambiguously the best Intimidate user in this format.
Sure. Yeah, I buy that. Arcanine's really good. Salamancer's really good. I'd say they probably sit to me as the top 3. And...
Over.
What, sorry?
Oh, for sure, I agree. I think Arcanine probably has more usage, but I believe Tauros has performed better in VGC tournaments.
Yeah, both of them have seen decent usage. Like, I think Arcanine performed a lot at the Tainan, and then obviously Tauros performed a lot at San Diego. One of the big things that we've been seeing with Intimidate users in general is Intimidate with a Mirror Herb, so if you do run into that Defiant Pokemon matchup, you get +2 attack. Beyond that, Safety Goggles is common if they're not Terra-type Grass. Offensive boosting items such as your Mystic Water, not bad, not unseen. I think we saw some placements from Scarf variants of Tauros-Paldea. You know, a lot of it is about how can I most effectively get damage off if I am concerned about opposing redirection. Then I can run Safety Goggles so that I'm managing to punish the partner Pokemon. If I'm not as worried about redirection because of, you know, whatever context my team has for it, then you know, do I want the Mirror Herb, or if I'm Terra Grass, to get that extra damage off very quickly and really accelerate that game state, or, you know, am I really looking for just getting absurd damage off without being dependent on what my opponent has, so that the Terra Water, Mystic Water can really do insane damage, especially if your team is pressuring Amoonguss to Terra. So yeah, that's that. Tauros-Paldea is really one of the standout mons, and the water form is currently seeing the best, but the fire form is also seeing a lot of good usage as well.
Yeah, the fire form is reasonable as well as a good fire type, which is kind of rare in this dex.
Yeah, and why
I think on ladder, the Mirror Herb is probably the most consistent, and the Safety Goggles, or in tournament, with the Mystic Water being there. But if you want to talk a little bit about Draft League or potential other variants of this thing, we saw one Choice Scarf version that Audi brought to San Diego. which I think is strong. Just this Pokemon being fast. If you pair Intimidate with Assault Vest, this Pokemon can actually become like really, really bulky and hard to kill, and it's just putting out great damage with 110 attack and then Wave Crash in close combat. I think we could even potentially see this Pokemon being an abuser of just like standard boosting items in a different format, something like a Choice Band or a Life Orb, just with the coverage. Like I think a Choice Band Terra Water Aqua Jet on this guy, especially because he benefits from switching out and switching back in.
Yeah,
has positive synergy with choice items.
Yeah, it's similar to Choice Lando in previous formats, because it is a Pokemon that benefits from switching out and switching back in because it intimidates cycling. It's a Pokemon that does not experience as much of a downside from the choice aspect of choice items.
On the same note, I would even potentially suggest, on the right team, something like an eject pack, close combat set could put in some work, because you also get out of there if you get intimidated yourself, and can bring in something.
It's definitely an option. For the context on the Scarf Tauros placement, it was on a Rain Trick Room team, so it enabled the team to have fast offense on Trick Room, but then still have a Pokemon that isn't awful under Trick Room, even with that Intimidate, because it is getting that Intimidate. Sorry, even with the Scarf, because it still is getting value out of that Intimidate. And there are a lot of different Pokemon that function as Rain abusers in the current format, but I'm constantly impressed by how much Tauros is doing in terms of damage.
Oh yeah.
All right.
Was that team a Elephant team as well?
No. It was Pelipper, Tauros, Amoonguss, Mimikyu, Goldengo, and Kingambit.
Wow, it's really interesting then that it was the
Soul Rain abuser.
The Soul Rain abuser.
Most Palafin teams don't tend to have Trick Room setters.
Wait. Does the Mimikyu on the team have Trick Room?
Yeah.
Okay. Is it a bulky like Metal Orb one, or is it a?
I don't have the spreads. It's safety goggles.
Oh, okay. Okay, so it is Trick Room. Yeah. Really interesting. Yeah.
Played off Shadow Sneak with Manual Curse to tech for Tatstoza. But yeah, so this mon's very flexible. The 100 speed is absolutely incredible. And the fact that it does have also more niche moves like Bulldoze and Rock Tomb, you can pull those off in different situations because it has that speed in the first place. Get on that?
And that combos with Scarf as well.
Absolutely. That's and yeah, Chilling Water is honestly surprisingly it's got pretty good usage in terms of how you can position it to mitigate damage if you are trying to protect a Tailwind setter or a Trick Room user. Yeah. So
it's funny. In the team report from San Diego, what's his name? Meluka Chisok said that he put this Pokemon on the team just because he was like, oh well, Urshifu's good, so this thing has the same typing. Let's fucking try it out.
Exactly.
And it is because of strong stabs. I think what gets to the heart of it is that this coverage is good, the speed is good, the stats overall are pretty good, but the two stab moves both being 120 power is really what like.
And then even if you don't have Wave Crash, having Raging Bull has a lot of value as well. So like, you can preserve the Pokemon while still getting a crazy synergy off of what is a very offensive move.
So overall, just like, I think crazy. This is I would consider this top tier.
Absolutely. I think. When I was coming to make these videos towards the end of this series, I was specifically looking at Pokemon that I think are some of the best of the best, and I think we need to cover it before we move into Series 2, and that's why Tauros is on this. It's also why our next Pokemon... Oh no, it's not Sorry, I thought the next Pokemon was the other one. Next Pokemon is Dragapult. This is not necessarily a top tier, but it does have use cases. So... It's pseudo-legendary, so it is a 600 base stat total, which is good. It's a Ghost Dragon, which is good. It's 142 speed, and there's no faster Pokemon besides Electrode in the format, correct? I don't think there's a 145. Is Excelgor legal? I don't think so.
Correct. Nope. No Excelgor, no.
And like, there's no restricteds or anything. They're dumb because... there will be, I think, I'm pretty sure I'm pretty sure Miraidon's faster.
It's also worth noting that there's really not a lot of like speed-based weather abusers.
Yeah.
So like you're not seeing a lot of swift swimmers. You're not seeing Scovillain. So like what you're likely to be facing that's faster than this is basically just
Choice Scarfers.
Titan.
Yeah.
And Lycanroc.
Lilligant as well.
And Lilligant, right.
Yeah, that's about it. Like, and then even then, Lilligant is either clicking grass moves or it's after you wing Torkoal, which is clicking fire moves, both of which Dragapult's naturally good typing resists. It's weird, I don't know. Ghost Dragon is like the weirdest typing because it's got a lot of good resists and a lot of crippling weaknesses. So that's just kind of where Dragapult is sitting. There are two main reasons that we've been seeing people use this, whether it's in other more like online grassroots tournaments or whether it's on ladder. You generally either want to click Dragon Darts or you want to click Will-O-Wisp. Those are generally the two main selling points of the Pokemon. And it's a lot of it comes down to what you're looking for out of that speed stat. If you have a team that is more like middling speed and you're concerned about your matchup into whatever fast Pokemon, then Dragapult is a strong way to dissuade that fast Pokemon at team preview and possibly to KO it post team preview. It can also ignore redirection with Dragon Darts, which is a big thing, but not as big if their Trick Room setter is like Katarine or Mimikyu, obviously. But still being able to get damage around is really solid.
Yeah. I think what Dragapult brings to a team, and it's much better at this in drafts where you can just EV specifically, is just saying, okay, you know what, fuck it, I'm going first. And that can dissuade a lot of the fastest, best stuff by just having it get off damage or damage mitigation. But I think it is one of those Pokemon that kind of gets in, does one thing or two things, and then is likely to get knocked out after a little bit. So you really got to get the most of it and position it well in a team for it to really make an impact.
Yeah. Like there's a reason that we either see offensive items like Choice Man and Life Orb, or we see Focus Ash most of the time on Dragapult.
Yeah.
Then that's because it gets put down to Sash a lot. 88, 75, 75 is a middling bulk level. If you were to invest fully in it, it can take a lot of hits defensively. I think we saw, was it like a Terra Steel Leftovers Wisp Disable set, which can leverage that bulk effectively.
And we've seen in previous generations, in Gen 8, it
Absolutely.
ran Will-O-Wisp, Breaking Swipe, screen stuff.
Yeah. It did lose Breaking Swipe this gen, which I think is one of the things that sets it back a lot. In terms of stuff it picked up, it did get Psychic Fangs, which is interesting. Actually, it might have had that previous gen as well, but seeing some play because removing screens is really impactful in the current format. That said, it does also get Infiltrator, so it can ignore screens, but I think we're seeing a lot of physical variance with Clear Body is kind of where the money's at right now.
I think when Terra Blast first came out, one of my first thoughts was like, finally Dragapult has a physical Ghost Stab. Because you Terra Ghost that thing and it's super strong, and then
absolutely.
You're not relying on darts. But I think it's too situational, and having to commit your Terra just to that, you may as well just use a coverage typing to flip some of the matchups that are already bad.
Absolutely. And in terms of those coverage typings, we have been seeing like a not in a small amount of Terra Fairy. It seemed to be like the most common of the Terra types that it was going into offensively. Occasionally Terra Fire for physical variance because Flamethrower is good, but being able to run it off of your strongest stab that you're already investing EVs into is also pretty good. And then occasionally your Terra Steel or your Terra Poison to clip fairies.
Yeah, I was saying to Electric, I think this Dragapult, it's not making a lot of waves in the format right now. We're not seeing a lot of results.
But it can.
I think that was somewhat true last generation as well. It was much better last generation with Dynamax, but as far as I remember, I think there was kind of a lull right before Wolf's
Colossal Team?
Colossal Team with the Players' Cup win. It may have already been popular there, but
Yeah, it was heading into Players' Cup. It started getting really big because Colossal started getting really big, and it can do the Colossal thing. With Colossal, it just can't max, and it can also do it with Cloth. It also can't max.
Right, I can do it with both of those guys. I think what Dragapult is good for is like those kind of like slightly weird gimmicky teams where you're using some unconventional Pokemon or some slightly unconventional strategy. Dragapult just having the speed and the fake out immunity makes it always a top tier supportive slash offensive piece that can like do the one weird thing that nothing else can do while also doing reasonable damage and offering damage control. Now, what is that thing that it's supposed to be doing is
side U-turning Rouge.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's probably one of the best options for that, right?
I have no idea. People haven't been using it as the main side Terra Rouge, side U-turning Rouge mons compared to Meowscarada, because Meowscarada is generally just going to be on the team anyways. But it's definitely an option.
Right. If you want something faster that's immune to fake out, or if you need a dragon type. Yeah, I think this is going to be one of those things where we'll see it pop up on some top cut regional teams where somebody has built a team of 6 and then they're like, well, I'm not actually ever really needing focus energy on Hydreigon, and actually I realized if my Hydreigon was faster and wasn't weak to fighting move, it would be better, so I swapped it out for Dragapult, and then the team worked better. Like,
it can easily
it's going to be the
proxy sort of one.
Yeah, it's going to be I think the replacement on teams that already have a dragon when they still want a dragon in that spot.
Yeah, also I think this team. It synergizes really well with Indeedee, because one of the main ways to suppress it is that sucker, or like that priority move. And having it be able to avoid that, especially if it can Dragon Dance next to a Follow Me, is pretty significant. Because its damage is pretty crazy with the Dragon Dance, which is also some of the places where we saw it as an individual Pokemon pop off the most last gen, was in teams where it enabled itself to set up a Dragon Dance. So I'm just going to...
Yeah. I think, honestly, the Dragon Dance set is going to be really significant in Dragapult's play if it does come out, just because if you do get off that attack boost, you're suddenly taking 1-hit KOs with your Terra Blast and with... You're taking KOs with Dragon Darts and with Terra Blast, and that +1 attack really changes it from just missing out to really being a force to be reckoned with. The question is, of course, actually getting it up.
Yeah. Alright, and now we get to the other one of our Water Fire top tiers. Rotom-Heat out of the frying pan and into the oven. This mon is kind of... this mon is... Obviously, it's competing with Rotom-Wash for a slot. But it saw 2 really significant placements. I think one top 16 and one top 8 at... it was top 32. But one top 32 and one top 8 at San Diego, which is always fun to check out. And 2 very different sets, with one being a pure offense, choice specs, Overheat Thunderbolt Volt Switch on a snow team with Shadow Tag, Gothitelle, and obviously the Tauros-Paldea, and a Scarfly Dragon, whereas the other one was on a much more slow, intermediate type of team, Wisp Thunderbolt to protect an Overheat with Assault Vest, Azumarill, and Rocky Helmet, Amoonguss, and Life Orb Golden Go with Haze, Tailwind, Murkrow with Snarl. It really is an interesting mod in terms of how utterly different the sets can be while still running 2 or 3 of the same moves.
Yeah, it's weird. It has a lot of item diversity without having that real move diversity.
And I think that stat spread as well, the 50, 107, 107 with the 105 special attack and the 86 speed, can really lead to you, like, they're all kind of okay. I mean, the HP isn't great, but the defense is going to make up for it. But that special attack and that speed stat are in a place where you can very easily be like a bulky mon that is still getting good damage off, or you can be a fast offensive option.
Yeah. You can use it a lot of different ways, investing in almost any of those stats. I think last generation I thought of the Rotom forms as being a lot more versatile than they are this generation, simply because of Electro Web, having the option to scarf them and have them be a really solid speed control option. The fact that they've lost that this gen means that really they're much more being used as damage output or as damage reduction, not so much as speed control. So they've lost, one out of their 3 roles, but I think they perform the other 2 roles quite well, and Rotom-Heat having a fire typing definitely situates it in a really beneficial place in the metagame.
Yeah, and Overheat's such a strong burst of damage.
Yeah, Overheat doing good damage and being more accurate than Hydro Pump if we're comparing it to Rotom Wash. You've got good damage into stuff like Golden Go and obviously Amoonguss, and the fact that you 4 times resist Make It Rain, I think, is really good for that specific matchup.
The other big thing is apparently it's been seeing some usage with Sand, and the fact that it is the grass resist, where Rotom Wash is weak to grass, means that Tyranitar and Lycanroc next to it are less worried about it. Also, it's been seeing usage with Tatsdozo, because again, grass is kind of like that big difference maker. But to be honest, I think that the Gothitelle pairing makes a lot of sense with it, with Rotom-Heat to me, because it does have that explosive damage, but it is, electric and fire are very good dual stab, but they have very specific losing matchups. So being able to stop someone from being able to switch into that losing matchup is pretty good. Dragons.
Yeah. Yeah, I think a Terra Fairy with Terra Blast is really strong on this guy. That's my go-to for a lot of the Rotom forms. I think these Rotom forms and especially Rotom-Heat are always those guys where it's like none of their stats is too crazy, and their move pool isn't too crazy, but it's just balanced such that you see them and then you think you're going to KO them and you don't quite finish them off. They live on like 10% and then they blow you up with a fucking Overheat or a Thunderbolt or a Discharge or something.
And they eat a Citrus Berry and live your next hit too.
Exactly.
And this is like your premier Disquake sort of mon. Rotoms in general, but Rotom-Heat can absolutely be it. I think Rotom-Heat you probably want to take more on like your Clear Amulet Swords Dancy Garchomps rather than your Choice Band variants. I think that you still have a strong argument for Rotom Wash on those Choice Band variants. But I think it's interesting that we've been seeing it on both of the teams with other ground immunities. Because it is definitely a mon that it blanks ground types pretty well, and it means that you can also you're quite good into that Garchomp matchup, despite the fact that it does resist your dual stab quite well, especially if you're a Wisp variant. It's kind of in the way where it kind of mind games them into not bringing Garchomp, especially if you're pairing it with other ground immunities, even though it doesn't necessarily personally have a good matchup into Garchomp.
Yeah, well, you can burn it, of course.
Yeah,
I think
if you're the Wisp variant, yeah.
I think the cool thing about Rotom-Heat as well is that when you're putting together a team, you're kind of saying, okay, I want a fire type to have a really solid resist and super effective damage into steel types and fire types, which are generally pretty common in VGC formats due to Amoonguss and Golden Go and stuff like that. Even Metagross, Scizor, whatever it was in past generations. And then you also want an electric type to be really good into waters, because water types are always common, unless it's a Mega Rillaboom metagame. But this one says, I'm gonna give you both of those things, and you're not gonna be stacking 3 ground weaknesses among your electric, fire, and your steel type. You're gonna have 0 with me, and it frees you up to also run something like a Golden Go and not worry about ground type moves, or even like a Garganacl, right?
I mean, to some extent.
Ground moves aren't too common in this format, mainly
but some of
coming
the
out
best
from
ground move abusers are very good, right?
True. Yeah. And especially in the next series, actually, when we get Great Tusk, when we get
Iron Treads,
Iron Treads, when we
Sandy
get
Shocks.
Sandy Shockingtons, yeah, Now, I don't think any of those 3 Pokemon are going to be super metagame defining in the way that
I think Great Tusk
Bonnet,
probably
Hands,
will
Great Tusk?
be. Yeah. One's insane.
Maybe. But it's going to give more ground types. And
Yeah.
I think later on in the format, this guy might even dip down a little bit as Iron Bundle starts taking over and then make a bit of a resurgence.
You think Iron Bundle's going to be... I'll be very interested to have you on when we get into the next... or into Series 2 content, because you have very different reads to me.
Well, I don't know exactly what's taking over. What I know for sure is that
Specifically
the early metagame...
Into the new one. Dragapult beat Dragapult faster than Fluttermane. Trust
True.
Dragapult will take off, I swear, guys. Alright, so guys, leave a comment down below about your Series 2 predictions. I don't even know why I have this. Let's get into the game. You did already build a team, I assume?
Yes.
Okay, good. I just realized, I think I forgot to confirm that. You're on J4CE, right?
Yeah.
No, be not idle. Alright, there we go. Don't drag EasyBake beef. So words to live by. This set's bad,
Untitled
but I didn't really think it through.
Alright.
Oh, wow. I considered Kilowattrel.
Oh my god.
Do you mind turning timer
Oh,
off?
man.
And then, like, turning auto timer off?
No. I want timer on. It's time.
It's timer.
I will say I have to run pretty soon. So
Yep.
if you don't mind.
That's fine. Like, I generally play relatively quickly.
Cool.
Okay.
Alright.
Let's go.
Sorry, were you saying that you mind timer, or I should leave it off?
I prefer not to have timer, just because it's just kind of annoying. It makes me very, very anxious, and I generally play before timer anyways.
Okay, fair enough. Fair enough.
Except this time, when obviously I would have been too busy trying to set up game 2 and 3.
Yes, for sure.
Yep. Alright. I don't think my first comp makes any sense, but I've got it. So that's the Pokemon I've clicked. So I don't think I set Terra types on half of these Pokemon. I did not set Terra types on half of these Pokemon.
Oh, that.
Okay, that's a lead.
Oh, there it is. Woo. So here we see the the power of the Pult.
I hope so. I mean, you're the one who's you know, not even bringing a new Pokemon. That clear body blocking.
Oh no, fake out.
Well, I assumed you were the item.
The covert cloak.
The cloak.
Hey, that is a fair assumption to make.
Like, I just, you know, I may lose because I thought you were Covert Cloak, but I think it was a reasonable... 24? That's a lot of damage.
It's a strong Pokemon.
That 29 was not a lot of damage. Intimidate's a strong move. So this Discord thing I was talking about, it seems like we're getting that. I have no idea what this set is. I'm a level with you. I don't think I made very good decisions in building.
Oh, yeah, me neither. Oh, the double protect? Oh, the citrus? Is it enough?
No.
See, I feel like if not for the crit, that Rotom may have lived, and that's exactly what we were talking about.
I don't even know if that's true.
Oh.
Yeah, I know you were getting competitive. Oh, you didn't get competitive. You were Volt Absorb because Rotom. Yeah, my Rotom was really bad. Dragon Claw.
Okay, interesting. Oh man,
Oh,
Dragon Darts are so nasty. Yeah.
I'm a level with you. I didn't expect this to live. Okay, well, I think if I win a speed tie, I win, unless you're a sucker. Oh no, it lived on 2!
Live on 2!
No!
Alright, game 2.
I wish I was a helping hand. My Tinkaton set's not good. None of my sets are very good. I don't like them very much. This one especially. It feels like you brought a team that Rotom is just completely unviable into. I don't think I did that. Did I do that?
Well, Rotom is your only resist to the Garchomp Earthquake.
Huh.
Which otherwise
That's what you
looks
think.
pretty strong. Let's do it.
I feel like the Volt Absorb Kilowattrel is just a bit of BM, you know?
Sorry?
The Volt Absorb Kilowattrel is BM.
What the hell? How is it BM? I'm running Discharge. It's a Quake team.
Feels like BM. It feels like, you know, you're just blanking out my road. I understand that that's not the reason why, but it feels like it, right? That's the problem. The problem is that it feels like it.
Totally did not. I didn't even think about the fact that you also would be having a Rotom. No, no, say it ain't so.
Oh, it's Sash. Never mind. It's fine. Game over. Doesn't matter. It's GG. Why am I even playing?
I don't know. You've got the follow me action.
Well, I do have a funny interaction.
Oh.
Alright, I keep forgetting about the Endeavor bullshit.
I like the set, and I'm healing the Pachirisu as well.
Yeah.
No, not the Nuzzle.
Yeah, so I don't know what made me think this in prep, but I brought a Mono Thunderbolt Rotom.
Heat.
It's not good. It's very bad.
That's Heat. I only have 2 electric immunities, so in a way,
too,
you've got super effective damage into one of my Pokemon. That's awesome.
Which Pokemon?
Tauros.
Oh, Tauros, yeah. I mean, I assume your Terra checks it, though.
Oh man.
Oh god.
I expected to get weaker than that. That was such a terrible play on my part. I should have attacked the Pachirisu. Huh. Interesting. I see the situation. Okay.
I don't see the situation, so I'm very concerned that you do.
The situation is you don't have any moves that can damage Kilowattrel.
Yeah. I said that already.
Well, I figured maybe Patrick. I don't know what I was thinking. Let's see.
I mean, it's got, you know, the funny move, but I don't think funny move was the winning play.
Oh,
it was a roll.
Right.
Okay, I didn't think it was a roll.
I need to go for the speed tie. All right.
I had to go for the speed tie. What do you mean?
The 1v4.
Yeah, I mean, I'm in a bad way. Okay.
Oh no, I can't believe it. Alright, game 3.
My favorite thing about that is Rotom was walled by Garchomp. My Rotom was really bad. I mean, it was actually very useful, but...
And you know what? It still put in work.
It did put in work on account of the fact that 2 of your Pokemon... Like, the fact that you didn't bring Dragapult or Amoonguss. Oh no, you did bring Dragapult. I just died. Should have gotten that roll the first game.
This is tricky.
Most of my team is very bad.
I think my whole team is very bad as well.
Uh,
I'll try it.
Alright.
Try it. Oh,
This is the Jed lead. This is what we were thinking. Everyone was like, it's going to be the Jed lead, isn't it? And it was, in fact, the Jed lead. That was the lead that happened. It was the Jed lead.
Jed? You're saying the Jed lead?
It was the Jed lead. It was the lead that Jed would do.
Who the fuck is Jed?
I don't know. You're the one doing the Jed lead.
God. Oh my god.
I don't like the fact that that still didn't do that much damage. Okay, that was really rude. This Pachirisu's a sensitive fella, you know?
Excuse me? A sensitive fella. Got it.
A sensitive fella. What do you think I
No,
said?
for sure. I don't know what you said.
Okay. I'm all of a sudden I'm concerned about the things I say. Thank you.
Fine.
I appreciate being healthy.
No!
I knew that was exactly the play you were gonna go for, and I was like, man, my berry is gonna do overtime right now.
I knew the berry was there, but I figured that was all the damage I needed. Son of a bitch. Okay.
My Rotom is gonna win now.
Well,
only one of your Pokemon are fully immune to its moves. And
how
Rotom.
dare you? How dare
You
you?
brought the double clear. You really just didn't want the Pokemon that we're supposed to show off to do work.
What do you mean? My Dragapult's great.
Dragapult, finally. It's time.
My Rotom is big too. In game 1, are you kidding me?
Did your Rotom do things game 1? Your Rotom didn't hit the field game 1.
Game 2 was good? Oh yeah. But my Tauros was good game 1. Ugh, I'm gutted.
I
doesn't
am
actually
solely
matter.
gutted.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Well,
I don't know what to do.
there we go.
I guess it's this.
Here's my play. Oh!
Okay, wait, Swords Dance?
No!
Oh, the Dragon Claw. I'm in love with you. I was considering switching the Tinkaton out into Dragapult. Wouldn't really do that much. I don't know why I think that. I'm thinking that's particularly significant, but you know, fine.
This is. I guess it's this. Is my? Am I about to
Well,
choke
you
here?
know, it seems like you won. Oh, I forgot I was immune. I genuinely forgot that. So if I had set my my Terras, the Tinkaton would have been Terra Steel, and then I could have Terra Steeled, and it would have hit it with one of those Dragon Darts hits.
True.
But Dragapult,
I
Garchomp
didn't-
would have lived anyway, so it didn't matter.
I didn't
Well,
tear that game. Anyways.
I thank you guys all
good
for
game?
watching. This was a fun series. Were you adamant on Dragapult, by the way?
I don't think so. Oh no, I was adamant.
Okay, yeah. So you didn't sweet tie either of those times.
Okay.
So yeah, look, thank you guys all for watching. This has been a very fun series. Definitely check Jace out below. Please leave a comment, leave a like on the video, subscribe. There's a playlist that should be popping up on the screen right now or in a bit. Click on that. That's got all of my VGC analysis and demonstrations. And you know, comment down below what Series 2 Pokemon you think might pop off.
Yeah.
Thank you for watching.
All right. See you later.